Hey, for those of you who don't know, Jeff Zucker, this is Jeff Zucker. That's him, Jeff Zucker. If you don't know, Jeff Zucker is the president of CNN, and he used to be president of NBC. So making it clear he's both bad at entertaining and informing. I'm just going to go ahead and assume he's lousy lay too. How about you? Anyway. Anyhow, last Friday, Mr. Zucker was part of a talk at Harvard Business School, presumably part of their Success Through Mediocrity series. At the talk, he said maybe it was a mistake that they basically gave Donald Trump an open forum last year by doing things like, showing several of his rallies from start to finish, unedited and unfact-checked. Yeah, he said maybe that was a mistake. And by the way, it was a mistake according to everyone who lives in objective reality. You'll note, though, that I didn't say that Jeff Zucker apologized or really even expressed remorse at all, because guess what? He didn't, and he isn't. And the reason I know this, I know he doesn't regret this, is because since that time, since he was doing the stuff he's now apologizing for, since then, he went on to hire goons right from the Trump campaign and put him on his air. That's right. He hired Corey Lewandowski, Kayleigh McEnany, Scotty Nell Hughes, and Jeffrey Lord. Presumably, they tried to get Katrina Pearson, but her mental state makes any contract with her unenforceable. Also, I suspect she throws her own shit at people sometimes. Have you ever seen her? Yeah. If you don't know how bad these four people are, let's just take Corey Lewandowski, for example. Okay, Donald Trump's first campaign chief. He was still on the campaign's payroll well into his tenure at CNN. Lewandowski has defended his former master by saying things like, maybe Hillary Clinton also says lewd things about women in her speeches to banks. Scotty Nell Hughes says things like Donald Trump definitely sacrificed for his country by ruining his first two marriages in the interest of creating jobs. And what was Jeff Zucker's rationale for hiring these people? Well, CNN's normal Republican commentators, who in a normal year would be pieces of crap in their own right, well, these commentators had all disavowed themselves of the Trump trash fire. So in an interest of, no kidding, in an interest of balance, Jeff Zucker hired the dream team of bad ideas. And by the way, thank God he got these guys under contract, because you know how hard it is to find crazy blowhards who are misinformed narcissist a-holes who want to be on television at any given moment of the day. Hey, FYI, I'm absolutely certain I could call Gary Busey and get just as rational a defense of Trump's behavior as I could get from Jeffrey Lord. Maybe even better. For the sake of argument, let's say hearing two sides of a political argument as if they're equally valid is a good idea. It's not, but that's another thing. And by the way, that's not news when they do that, when they just give you two sides of an argument and they pretend like they're equally valid. That's not news. That's something you can hear for free at the barbershop or inside your own head. But in this case, what Jeff Zucker did was he took this already shitty format one step shittier. Yeah, what he did is akin to accompanying every news report of a shooting with a commentary from a gun manufacturer, telling you that guns don't kill people, but people kill people. And when you're going to kill people, what a better way to kill people than with a quality American firearm from Smith & Wesson. That's what Jeffrey Zucker did. That's the equivalent of what he's doing when he hires people from Trump's campaign in the idea of balance. I know this because within the last week, I've heard these very paid commentators, upon hearing that their candidate sexually assaulted women, I've heard them blame the victims on CNN. CNN paid them to come on CNN and blame the victims of Donald Trump for being victims. That's what CNN paid them for. So Jeff Zucker, if you're listening, I would suggest prioritizing the mistakes you are willing to cop to. And by the way, since you're mentioning mistakes, why not mention, Don Lemon or Wolf Blitzer? But I digress. How about Nancy Grace? Or when you used to hire Glenn Beck and Tucker Carlson? Anyway, how about apologizing for creating an entire cable news infotainment softball dumbing of our country in the first effing place? How about that? And if you need a little more, so he's not apologizing for hiring those people. Guess what? Corey Lewandowski, contributor, just got off Trump's plane here in Newark, been with him all day. And he got off and he had his hood over his face, hoping people wouldn't notice. And guess what Soledad O'Brien had to say about that? She says, that's pretty unusual. Generally speaking, the network standards and practices team would not be okay with this. She knows that CNN doesn't have any standards because they fired her for telling the truth. Remember, a couple years ago, Frank and I were doing a show. We showed how she was speaking truth to power at CNN, and Frank said, I look forward to her podcast because they got rid of her right away. As soon as she pushed back against powerful people when they were lying on her news show to her face and to her viewers, she pushed back and called them on it. And we knew that was the end of it for her, and it was. But it's not for CNN. Maybe she should go work for Trump. She can get back on CNN. So Jeff Zucker,